Welcome back to another Refurbished Revivals. This one's going to be a challenge. If you can see it over my shoulders already, you can't see it. I promise you. This one I picked up free off the side of the road. I saw it on Marketplace. I was like, that one's going to be a challenge. That's going to be one that I really want to see if I can make pretty. So when this whole video is said and done, we're going to do a side-by-side comparison in the pictures so we can see what this thing was and what it became. I give to you the Cosmic Dresser. So when I saw the ad for this thing, I saw this. This is the only picture they had posted. That's spray paint. That's a veneer face that's peeling. But when I went to pick it up, this is what I see. They completely spray painted the whole thing. The whole thing. The whole thing. So we have our work cut out for us on this one. And this is my favorite part right here. Oh, it's not that side, it's this side. It talks to you, see? You can pick it up, it talks to you right there. So we're gonna have some work we gotta do on there, and I believe this one does it too. But this thing is going to be a total transformation, and I'm super excited, but I'm also really not looking forward to the amount of work this is going to be. So like I said, I picked this one up for free off of Marketplace, just as kind of a challenge to myself to see if I could do anything with this. So if we can get this thing back to some form of respectable and not some art student's little project that she had, I'm gonna be really, really proud of myself, and really just hope that we can turn a profit on this one. This one's gonna be a little rough. Now I know you see something laying down over here. That's something we don't use a lot. I am gonna use a sander on this one because the spray paint is so thick up here. It literally looks like they just held it and let it bubble up and puddle up, and it's super thick and it's got a ton of texture to it. Plus, if I was gonna do this all by hand, it would take forever. The texture that's on the spray paint from the top up here, on the sides, and then the back, if I just do the regular scuff and shoot where I just hit it with 80, 120 to get it all smoothed out, you're still gonna see the outline from where the spray paint was. The second hardest part of this is this veneer, okay? This veneer is coming up, it's peeling. That one's done, that one's toast. The rest of these are okay. The veneer is still 100% intact. It's just got this texture from the spray paint. So this one, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna show you how to get a veneer face off. You can do that for the tops, sides, drawer fronts, anything. I'm gonna show you how we're gonna do it. It involves a lot of heat from a heat gun and a scraper. So that's how we're gonna get this off. Then we're gonna sand it smooth. And depending on what the texture of it looks like, if it's going to be too much different from the ones with the actual veneer still on them, we might go over the whole thing with Bondo just to fill in the grain, get it super smooth, have to do a bunch of sanding and get that all correct. The good thing about this one is the only thing that's veneered is the drawer fronts. Everything else is solid wood. So this one is going to be a great candidate for a scuff and shoot. I'm not taking any of this down to bare wood and staining it. I'm not doing any of that. We're just going to get this thing sanded down. We're going to paint it one solid color, put some new hardware on it. And this hardware, I believe, if I remember correctly, when I measured it, was 3.5. We can find something in 3.5 for this. So I'm not too worried about it. Or we could go the other way. We could fill in the holes, re-drill new holes, and do knobs all the way down instead of pulls. So we're gonna get started. I'm gonna get some 80 grit on the sander. I'm gonna get my respirator, and we're gonna attack the top. We're gonna see if we can get the texture, get all the spray paint, get everything off of it, get it down to wood. Hopefully we can. Let's see. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we have our orbital sander here. So what this one does, it goes in a circle, right? But it also vibrates like up and down, so you don't get swirl marks and all that stuff. I still don't like using these if I'm gonna be doing, you know, the whole thing or whatever, because you'll get swirl marks. Even though these advertise that you're not gonna get swirl marks, you will get swirl marks. So we're gonna just strip everything down off of this, and then we're gonna go back to sanding it by hand. So we'll hit it at, you know, after we get it down with the 80 and the 120, we're gonna go back over it with 120 again with the block and get everything nice and smooth, straightened out, no swirl marks. This one has variable speed. I can't speak for other brands because this is the one that I use, the Rigid from Home Depot, but this one goes all the way from 0, 1, I don't know, all the way to 6. So 6, faster speed. You know, if you're doing like finishing with it, that's probably a good speed. Since we're stripping, we're going low speed. I'm gonna put this thing on like 2, and we're just gonna let the sandpaper eat. So I'll put some music on over this because you don't need to hear the sander working. Okay, so with the 80 grit, we started at 2 and we went all the way up to, I jacked it all the way up to 6. We let it eat. It got most of the texture off where the spray paint was. We're relatively smooth. I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna put our 120 on and we're gonna go over it again. Alright, and just like that, most of the texture is off. There's still a little bit left, not too much. So now I'm going to get some 120. I'm actually going to put it on the rubber block, and we're going to do the whole thing that way. Okay, so we got our 120 on our rubber sanding block, and we're just going to go, and then we're going to try the lip, see if we have any lip on here.
All right, we get the air compressor.
We got the whole thing sanded down. All the rough spots that had the spray paint, they're not there anymore. You still have some of the spray paint on here. So let me bring you in here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so as you can see here, what I was talking about, where you have your areas that had the heavy spray paint on them, you can kind of see, I don't know if you can see in the camera there, but it's kind of crackled right here, right? That's still a little bit of texture there. That's not much, but that will show up if we try to paint this. So we're gonna hit it with our, you guessed it, 180. Okay, so as you can see, you hit it with the sander, then we do a couple little passes there with the sanding block and just a bare sheet. There is no texture on here whatsoever, right? This thing is done. So the top is good, so we still got two sides, full face, and the back that needs to be done. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get started off camera and I'm gonna get the whole rest of the sides done. I'm gonna get both sides and the back done tonight. And then tomorrow, when we reconvene, we're gonna take these drawers out, do the face, and then we're gonna start working on the drawer fronts. And that is not gonna be fun. I'll just tell you right now. So I'm gonna get to work, get sanding on this, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Okay, now that we got the front sanded, we got the whole thing sanded except for the little groove there. There's a little groove on the side too. Not going to do that. The primer should take it over fairly well. So now we have an issue here. It is loose. As you can see, this thing talks. It can talk to you right there. So what we're going to do is we got a ratchet strap here. We're going to put some glue inside here to hold it down. We're going to ratchet this thing tight. We're going to get all these little gaps filled up because it should look like this. There's no gap here. It's got a very small little lip on this edge, so we're going to do the same thing over here because right now it's about even. So we're going to get some glue in here, and we're going to ratchet this thing tight. And we're going to let it sit like that, but I'm also going to run a few nails down into the actual body here. It's about 3/4 inch thick. So I'm going to angle them down this way, and I'm going to get them down in there. I might do some up this way too. We'll have to see, and I'll definitely do one across the hole. So what we're gonna use a paint stick that I broke in half because I'm strong. And then we're gonna use our wood glue. And we're just gonna, I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, but you know, we'll do it this way. It'd be difficult, why not? A nice little helping of glue on there. And we're gonna go ahead and lift this thing up. And we're just gonna slide some glue all right there. And then we're gonna get some in here. Maybe, probably not. There's a little bit right there, right there. Okay. All right, so now that's got plenty of glue in it. We'll just get rid of that guy. And we're gonna come over here and we're gonna start rationing this thing down tight. We're gonna get it to close up that gap. Okay. Gap is closed, our little lip is right there. And we're gonna get the nail gun. I think right now in this nail gun, I think these are 1 inch or so. We're gonna put our 1.25 in here. So that might be 1.5 inches, I don't know. And we're just gonna angle it down. Ah, come on. We're gonna angle it down. Okay, we got some nails in there. We're gonna get one here, maybe 2. And that one came out right here, but that's fine, we can fix that. And then for good measure, send one up. So now we're gonna let that sit so that glue can dry. I'm actually gonna get a hammer. I'm gonna tap those nail heads in. They're sticking out just a pinch. Okay, and then that guy right there, we'll deal with that. So we're gonna get this remaining glue that's squeezed out, and we're gonna get all that cleaned up right there. So if I was staining this glue would show up, but since we're painting it, we don't have to worry about it. And we still have a little bit of the nail head sticking out. So once that's dried out, I'm gonna wait till it's dry before I hit it. I'm gonna hit it with a grinder just over the top, kind of get those nail heads smoothed down a little bit. I'll come back on this one that's sticking out right here, and we'll just grind that smooth right there. And then this is fixed. We are gonna have to do a little bit of wood filler right here because there was a nail in there. It looked like somebody took a regular framing nail and just beat the hell out of it down trying to get it in that wood. And it actually cracked a little bit, but the wood filler will be fine on it. So let me grab the wood filler because we can go ahead and do that right now. And we'll get that filled in. So we're just gonna take our wood filler and we're just gonna massage it gently into the crack here. Okay, and when I say massage it gently, you're gonna make a mess. So you just wanna get it all pushed in to the crack. Like that, we filled that crack, we filled that hole. Let me get a little bit more. This edge here, a little bit more in that hole. So push it down in there, make sure it's good. Same thing here, get it in there. And then we'll come back over top of it with the rag. Just wipe the excess. Just like that, and that hole will be filled once this stuff dries up. So we're gonna let it sit like that. The next thing we're gonna start working on is the drawers. So when you saw when I was sanding the front, I already had one drawer that I sanded down, got all the stuff. There's no raised lips on here. Everything's nice and smooth. I did it with 180, or I did it with 80 first to get all the big stuff, big chunks with the sander, and then we went back and we did 120 over the top of it. Did the tops here, did the sides. Didn't do the bottom because you're not going to see the bottom. So now we're going to work on the rest of them, and we're going to save that busted one for last. Okay, so I figured out how we're going to do it. It only took using my head. So what we're gonna do is essentially using like the paint eater thing that we used on the last one. Take off the finish. I got my angle grinder here, and I have a paint removing wheel on it. You can see it's already got plenty of that melted stuff, glue, all that stuff. So we're gonna basically just hit over top of the veneer here, and what it does is it eats it away and it gets you down to bare wood. So with that's Dottie. So you can see we've already done some of this drawer here to test it out. Here comes Shop Dog Charlie. Somewhere, yeah, they're back there. But we've already done this one. I've done 2 drawers already, and it looks like the wood that they use for the drawer fronts is an oak. So we're gonna keep doing these. I got this one and 2 more full ones to get started. I'm just gonna put y'all on time lapse, let you listen to some music. I got the hockey game on TV, and we're gonna get to work. we got 3 coats of primer on this thing right now. And what we're gonna do tomorrow, when we come back to it, we're gonna lightly sand it down. We're gonna do the 220 all over the whole thing just to get the texture from the spray off. We're also gonna use that 220 to remove these little bugs that decided to make this their home. They're stuck in the paint. There, look, here's a little mosquito hawk. Here he goes, get out of here. So we're gonna do that tomorrow, and then we're also gonna get the drawers. We're gonna sand those down, because remember we did the primer on those to cover up the holes. So we're gonna sand those down, we're gonna stick those in here, and then we're gonna prime those too. So I think by 2 days from now, because I got a hockey game tomorrow night, so tomorrow when I get home from work, because this isn't my real job, but when I get home from work, we're gonna take care of that, and we're gonna get at least the first couple coats sprayed primer on the drawer faces themselves. And then here in a couple days, we're ready for paint. I'm gonna show you tomorrow when we come back, I'm gonna show you the paint color that I chose, and hopefully the hardware will be here tomorrow too, so I can show you what that's gonna look like. See you tomorrow. Everything's primed. We're ready to go. I've already pulled the drawers out, as you can see, because we're getting ready to paint the body. I've already sanded everything down with the 220. Everything's ready to go. This is the color we're going with. This is Benjamin Moore. It's called Yukon Green. It's a nice green. Hopefully it's a little darker than that when it dries, so it'll match the hardware a little better. But it's late, so I'm going to lay down a real good base coat, or top coat, I guess I should say. I'm gonna lay down a pretty good top coat on this thing, maybe 2 or 3. I'm gonna run the fans continuously to try to help dry this a little quicker, and then I'm gonna hit the sack. I'm going to bed because tomorrow is garage sale day. I got a trailer and we're picking up some more dressers. So let's get painting. All right, so we're done for the night. You saw me spray all the fronts of the drawers, and then we went ahead and rolled the sides and the tops of the edges of the drawers here. And I did get a little bit on the actual wood over here and on the back. It doesn't matter. Just looking at it, there is a gap, and I can see daylight through it right here. Like this needs to be pushed down, because I noticed on the top over there I have clearance. On the top over here I have clearance. In the middle right there, it's kind of like that, so it's hitting the top of the drawer. But that's okay. I'll fix it tomorrow. So we've got our hardware combo on here already. So we got the antique brass with the Yukon green. And tomorrow, when I wake up, I'm gonna go to Home Depot and I'm gonna get some 1/4-inch ply for the back. Let me show you the original back. Now you may be like, oh, that doesn't look that bad. You could put that back on. Well, that was the inside. That is the side that was outside. And that stuff was not coming off. So I went ahead and removed that back. I'm gonna go get some 1/4-inch ply, and we're gonna use that as a template. We're gonna mark it out on the new sheet, and then we're just gonna run it through the table saw, get it all cut up, tack it on the back with 300 nails, and I'm gonna get some wax. I'm gonna pick up some wax too tomorrow, because the slides in these drawers is wood on wood. The wax, you put basically get some wax on a rag and just wipe it on the slide in the drawer, and it helps it slide a little bit smooth. We'll also put a little bit at the tops of these things so they don't catch every time you close and open. And then we're done. This thing is ready to go. If you remember what this thing looked like, it was nasty. It was black, cosmic. It looked like space up here. Had 17 different languages of hello here and there. You got the racing stripes in the back. So this thing was a piece of crap, and I picked it up off the side of the road. So let's see what we can do with it. I think it looks all right. It looks pretty good. Sell it for a little bit of money. But yeah, that's gonna do it for tonight. Tomorrow, I don't know that I'm gonna film cutting a piece of plywood. That's pretty self-explanatory. But we'll do a final walk around before we go inside the house and stage it and get it ready to list. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. All right, so we're all wrapped up. I can see that drawer still sticking, getting in, but I'm sitting on this table here, so I don't want to force it enough to knock it over, you know. All the rest of them are in. I've went ahead and used the wax. This is the stuff I use. It's called Howard's Feed and Wax. So you basically just put a little of it on a rag, and you just rub the slides inside the dresser. You don't have to do the ones on the drawer. So now they all slide pretty good. See, no, that one's hung up. That one, there you go. They all slide pretty good. So let's do a walk around here. Whoa, that's my foot. Hit that guy. So here we are. Here's the sides. Remember, this side said like ciao and hola and guten tag, but now it doesn't. Top looking good. We got a new back on it. Just went and got some 1/4-inch sanded ply from Home Depot. It's like 16 bucks a sheet. Just cut it down. Got a table saw here, so we can do it here. The side's all nice, and the drawers look good. They're a little sticky, but that's it for that. So thank you for watching another episode of Refurbished Revivals. And I feel like I shouldn't have to tell you all this, but I got 0 subscribers. If you're watching this video and you made it this far, like, subscribe, hit the bell, comment. Yep. All right. Well, thank you, and we'll go ahead and post the stage photos as well, so you can see how good it looks in the real light, not these guys. So thanks again. Y'all have a good one.